Welcome back to Happy Mind, Happy Life podcast. I'm your host, Brittany, and we are back with a new episode. I do want to start by saying I am grateful and blessed for the most part. Um, for you guys to watch that last episode, it wasn't easy sharing, but I am very blessed beyond measures to still be living. I can definitely say that. Every day is just more progress, but also just trying to do better, taking care of myself more, and understanding the process of my future. But everything's good. I kind of just want to give y'all like a little bit of update on that. I do have a procedure like next month, but it's a very small procedure. So I'm ready to get that over with and move forward. But this week's episode, I kind of want to discuss everything that kind of has been on my mind recently. I've been like dealing with a lot of like nostalgia this month. It's not bad nostalgia, it's good nostalgia. Um, but I'm willing to share certain parts with y'all. So this episode basically is called Are You Healing or Just Missing What Felt Familiar? Um, the first question I kind of want to get into is why do we miss people, seasons of life, or versions of ourselves? I feel like some versions of ourselves, or we want to protect, but I think certain versions of ourselves, like we're afraid to outgrow. I think at one point I was also afraid to outgrow certain versions because those versions just felt familiar to me, and I could literally just stay in that and go on. Like I didn't have to change for anyone. I didn't have to grow or evolve for anyone. But I feel like the more I take care of myself, the more I love myself, the more that I the more that I want to achieve certain levels and versions of myself. Certain seasons of life, certain seasons, there were good seasons of me and there were bad seasons of me. I feel like it's an up and down. Think of that with me because I really just have to be careful of what I put out and what I want to receive back. I feel like this season right now of me is somewhat almost the best season of me because I genuinely have good, better conversations with people that I've ever had in my life. And I get to show like just my personality a lot more and just any growth or just evolving that I've done. And so I wouldn't want to go back to other seasons that produced hurt, anger, failure. I still have anxiety and stuff like that, but I'm just overcoming a lot of things in the seasons. That's why anytime I talk to someone like a friend or whoever, family member, coworker, whatever, like I'm always going to sit there and be like, I want to evolve into whatever is coming next. Like, I want to be better than the person I am sitting right here today talking to y'all. I don't want to sit here and stay in that season because seasons are still going to change, but I want I want more for every season that I come into or who comes into my life too. Um, I do miss people. I'm not gonna say everything was like pretty much like easy when I don't. I I don't miss people all the time. I'm gonna say that I don't miss people because I put up boundaries and then I'm just like, okay, cool, you're in my life or you're not, and that's fine. I don't. I do miss people, only specific people. Let me just say that. One person recently that has like come into my mind is Aisha. Aisha is an ex like from years ago. Um, but she has definitely stayed in somewhat of my rear view of like I want her to be doing well. I want her to live her best life. I want her to be successful just because I know some of her story before she left me or even just after the fact like that she left like me to go to another state but and like better her life. But I really like genuinely love and care for her because anybody that has come into my life and just shown me like unconditional support and love, like I just want them to succeed. Like, but I do miss I miss her presence. And I said this to Paris too, but like I miss her presence. I miss my friend. I miss her warm embrace. Just of course I said support. Just her, because I've never really received that kind of support or unconditional love and genuineness from other people that have really come into my life since her. I mean, there's people who show up, but I feel like she would show up the way I would need someone to show up in my life. But also we're different versions right now, so I of ourselves in our different seasons. So I don't know what that would look like, but I know from like afar, like I know like she genuinely cares about me, and want what's best for me. Um, the second question is like, what version of myself am I healing? I feel like April, I went through like grief, a lot of grief of missing, not even missing. I don't want to say that. I do not want to say missing, because I feel like I am healing things that I feel like was already shown to me in different versions of me. But I feel like I've made certain excuses for people and their behavior towards me, because I want to see people grow and I want to see people evolve. But I feel like a lot of people are not on the same wavelength as me, and I am healing what I felt like. I felt like me giving people chances. I feel like the version, it's very hard to explain kind of, because people who come into my life, people who are in my life or just born into my life, I feel like I've always tried to just see certain goods. I don't always try to just see bad. I'm willing to just step away from certain things and just hope for the best. But even when I'm just in a certain period of healing, and I don't try to project that onto other people, but I'm definitely grieving. I would definitely say the grieving version of me, I am trying to heal. And it's not always pretty. It's just me seeing things and people for what and who they are. And then on top of that, like, I talked to Paris about it, and we just kind of just not even explain, just agreed like that we can just pray over them, and like hope like everybody just isn't always continuously like stuck in their own ways. And if they continue to be stuck in their ways, cool. Me, I won't still be there. I just have to put up more in-depth like boundaries and protect myself along the way, and just continue on my journey, because I have my own path, they have theirs. And I think I've always said that. But I don't want people, when I'm working on myself or when I'm healing or grieving, I don't want people to surround me, because people who dictate or judge, I don't want that around me. I feel like when I'm in a period of just overstimulating with healing and stuff like that, it's very hard to get through to me. Because I think I jump to the conclusions a lot, and I do overanalyze and overthink. But this version of myself that I'm healing is very dear to me. I am very like, it's me that's healing, but like I'm very like hard on myself with a lot of things, and things I have self-doubt or worry or I fear about certain things too. It's very hard. But we're growing. I think I talked to Paris today, so it was good. And I talked to Paris the other day too, and we're doing some work I think tomorrow. So I am excited for that. Why does nostalgia hit harder during lonely seasons? Um, I think because I think about how things were, how they could have been, how they could be. But when you're going through a period of loneliness, is hard. I think even in a period of loneliness, you see everything that's happening around you, but also you see who shows up for you, who supports you, who's there when things are just more harder. And I don't expect people to show up for me always because I show up for me. But in a period of loneliness is it's very hard. Um, you think about you think about everything. You think about everything. And sometimes like I think in what was it, April, I even got like emotional and I was just like, I feel like I'm in a period of loneliness and then I'm just doing everything just by myself. Nobody can see that I'm over here. I'm not like struggling to just understand certain atmosphere perspectives or just how I'm perceived when things aren't communicated to me. I think loneliness is a strong word, but I felt that. I felt that in April. I'm kind of feeling it a little bit this month, but I'm not. I have support around me, whether that's I know God supports me, like, but it does get lonely out here. Like I don't need anyone to like cater to me like all the time. It's just I miss genuine support. That's really, or people who don't have to be performative around me. That's really what I really want to say. Performative. I'm gonna say that because it's really been performative. April, performative. Matter of fact, my whole life, performative. Um, very performative. I think that's where I'm at right now. Um, can nostalgia slow healing? We were talking about this today. Because when I think about certain things and whether or not I want people to be back in my life or whether I want things to go back to whatever, I feel like it can because I put certain expectations on certain things and I don't want to have high expectations or get my hopes up and then however I feel like it just doesn't happen. Like I don't want that for me. I want to be able to be present in the moment and take my time with healing and not really focus on the nostalgia and things are going to be the same because I don't want old things to come back to my life and still be exactly like that again. Um again, I feel like when you bring up nostalgia and stuff like that, you think about how good things were, and then when things come back around, it's just not like that. I don't want anything to be the same. I genuinely feel like yes, it's slow healing. It definitely slows down healing, depending on how you look at it. Depending on how you look at it. Um, do you still feel secure in yourself when no one is checking on you? Um, it depends on my mindset. Recently I dealt with depression. Um, I was like really depressed in April. Really hard on myself. Um, somewhat almost suicidal. And I was seeking therapy. I do have a therapy appointment coming up. Um, and I was just like deep in my thoughts and I was just like, "Oh my gosh, I cannot deal with certain things." And when I'm on a certain path and stuff like that, I'm like, I'm manifesting, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm doing all the things. And then on top of that, then when things just don't turn out the way like I want them to, I then often don't feel secure. I'm just like, oh my gosh, everything is failing me. Everything is hurting me. Like I don't feel safe in my present body. Like I don't feel anything really. And I think that was just very hard. Um, and I just really had to be my own cheerleader. I stopped talking to people. I didn't really talk to. I'm not talking really to anyone for real right now. Like I'm. It's hard to say that because um sometimes I want people to check on me, but at the end of the day, I would probably just not feel like it's genuine coming from certain people and things and I only feel secure when it's coming from people that are really dedicated to being in my life and actually show up for me. So Yeah, it's a yes and a no. When no one is checking on me. Am I seeking connection or am I seeking confirmation? Um, I don't really feel like right now I'm seeking any type of connection. I do feel like sometimes I seek confirmations when I want to talk to people, and then, or it's certain things I would do, and then I would be like, okay, if I'm thinking about something and I know for a fact that this is either true or not, because intuition is crazy. Once I do it, that gives me the confirmation of yes or no. Um, I feel like that's a yes and a no. Like, I'm seeking better connections. I'm seeking better connections and confirmation on what I put out, what I manifest, what I intentionally want. I want that confirmation to come back to me and be like, yeah, you pretty much did it right. And I'm pretty much being almost, I would say almost in a season of everything I wanted physically manifested into my life. I'm getting there. It's almost here. Um, do I still believe in myself when nobody is affirming me? Mm, yes. Um, yes. I take my affirmations very seriously, especially like when I pray. Um, I believe in myself. I'm doing a lot right now. Like, I'm doing a lot. So I'm my biggest cheerleader. I'm my biggest affirmer. And I try to put that onto other people, like what you manifest or affirm, like you're doing it. So don't lose sight of what you want at the end of the day. And I feel like at first it was hard to understand that, but I really had to affirm myself, write it out, um, speak out, and do it. Otherwise, I don't know how I'm going to achieve it, you know? Um, yeah, I don't know how I'm going to specifically achieve it if I don't really affirm certain things. But yeah, I believe in myself. Like, I've done a lot and things that I don't think anybody probably would have achieved if they didn't do this. At what point does healthy validation become emotional dependence? Um, I think I receive healthy validation, but I also receive negative validation. Um, there's a lot of healthy validation that um mm, I don't I'm hyper independent too. So when I'm talking about like healthy validation is just being positive, like a good nurture, a good person to talk to, or I wouldn't rely on that for emotional dependence. If you do that already, I would try to do something different. That way you're not seeking out um what is it? The validation. Like people who seek certain validation in others, like do you not feel like you can achieve certain things on your own, or do you feel like you need that validation? Like that's what I really want to know. Like why do people need validation in certain areas of their life? Like does it really matter? Like does the validation really actually matter? Does it? Like genuinely, does it really matter? Because I don't need validation to do what I want to do at the end of the day. I don't need to ask other people for validation, like confirm this for me so I can go and do it. Like, come on now, come on. Um, but it becomes emotional dependence when you're seeking out when you're seeking it out too much. I would definitely say that. Um, I don't want to be emotionally dependent on anyone. I'm not gonna lie, I would say that because it depends on my support system. And then if you get that help, that validation, I would hope that you use that, but you also have confirmation that you don't have to seek it out every single time. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. Does healing always feel peaceful or can it feel like grief first? Um, Definitely grief like you go through there's certain stages of healing, and I know one of them is grief. And I feel like when I grieve, it's very hard to get me out of that grieving stage. Like I am sad. I want things to go back to the way that they were. But I know that when I'm grieving, I'm shedding certain things, I'm releasing, I'm surrendering. One thing I have been working on or trying to work on is surrendering what I feel and just letting time do its thing, be just open. Um, and it doesn't always feel peaceful. I feel like sometimes people wake up and be like, okay, I'm good. But healing is not always peaceful. I'm still healing and it's not always peaceful. I could be good today and done tomorrow. And then just going through it constantly and trying to pick myself back up over and over and over and over and over again. Like it's very hard. And I really want people to understand that it's very hard when you're working on detachment, like discernment, using your discernment, like those, it's very hard. I don't think a lot of people have gone through healing. Like I really don't. Until you can really go through healing and understanding like certain things, like people can't really say they've healed. I can say like 1 minute, like I think I was like 20, 21, like between 21 and 24, I think I was like literally saying I was healing or I was healed, and I really wasn't. There's so much stuff you have to work on in order to be balanced and healed in whatever path you're like. It's so much stuff. Like it's so much stuff. That's why I am the way that I am more when I do my readings or my podcast or when I just post certain things. Like it's really that. Like you have the ugly, the good, the bad, like the horrible. Like there's certain stages. It's not always peaceful. Um Grief is the worst part of it. When you're grieving, because then you'll have a nostalgic moment and be like, oh my gosh, now we're back to this again. And that's how I feel, like, because I was grieving Shay, like nostalgic moment, and wanting her around, like her physical presence in my life right now. And it almost feels like she's here, but she's really not. And then I'm just grieving like memories. I'm grieving certain memories, and it's very hard to tap out because she's tapping in. And when I feel like that, like now, it almost feels like a feeling when I first let her go. But when I was worried about her, it was just like a different feeling. But now I just miss her. I would love to, whatever. I'm not even, yeah. But I'm cool with whatever, how things are right now. But the grieving part of it is not always easy. Like it comes back in different seasons, styles, years, whatever. It's very hard. Okay, like hard. But if you are healing, I commend you. Like if you need any advice or anything, like reach out, let me know. I'm always open to discussing certain things. Yeah. Um, One thing I really kind of want to leave off with saying that if you remove fear, loneliness, and nostalgia from the equation, what would you genuinely choose? Oh my gosh, that's a hard question. Why? Um, oh my gosh. I don't know. We're gonna have to come back to that too. Cause I don't know. I really don't know what I would choose. Right now, I don't know. Let me know if y'all come up with something with that. If you remove fear, loneliness, and nostalgia from the equation, what would you genuinely choose? I don't know. Because we're all circling like back through those three things, which is crazy, which is super, super crazy. Um, oh my gosh. Yeah, I really, oh my goodness. Okay. I'm gonna ask my class that that I'm taking right now and see what they say. And then I might post like the answer of what they give. Um, but yeah, I actually like these questions. I really do. I am coming like summer is coming back up. So um in June and July I'll try to post more often as well. I think I'm working a lot in the summertime. I'm hoping like by July like I'll have more free time, but we'll see. But I'm not rushing anything with this podcast or anything at the moment. But again, like I want to thank y'all for tuning in. I know it's been a minute since like I have been around or posted, but your girl is just getting her life together, living, healing, trying to be happy all day, every day. And I'm just on my own journey right now, and I'm just going with the flow. I don't want that to be rushed or forced or controlled in any type of way. I'm just doing what I need to do. Um, but again, like thank y'all for watching last week's episode. If y'all haven't caught up on any episodes, go ahead and do that now, or when you have time. So I thank y'all for tuning in. See you later.